I am so excited to welcome two special guests today, Caitlin Spears and Samantha Abrahamson.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys?
We're great.
Good,
Excited to be here.
Thanks for
Hey,
having us.
they're just bubbling over like everyone does when they have a good idea or they've created something that was in flow, and it just kind of, when you start creating something that's in flow, it just kind of keeps evolving and almost takes on a whole new avenue that you didn't even see when you started your project. And I feel like you guys are on the verge of something really cool and clever. So I'm going to have Samantha just kind of tell us about how you were a pharmacist for many years and then you took the leap into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head because when I started, I had no idea this app was going to be what it is today. I left my pharmacy job probably like 2 years ago, and I have to be honest, I was really nervous to start my own business just because my husband had one. I felt like I could see kind of what it was going to take. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but you shouldn't doubt yourself. And so finally, I took that leap. I started my own business, and it's totally taken on a life of its own. I mean, we didn't have AI in the beginning, and now we use AI to make eating healthy really, really simple for women around the world.
I think you should also touch on kind of like you were just saying a minute ago. You were like, when something is in flow, it kind of takes on a life of its own. When she first started, we were talking about this the other day, when she first started creating the app, she had a completely different idea from it. She had drawn out this little like character on a bar, like the workout bars, and she named it like Betty Bar or something.
I thought that I was gonna own a
Pure Bar.
Pure Bar, and so it didn't work out. Totally fine. Love the franchise, but I thought that this was going to be implemented possibly into fitness studios. So I created Bar Betty and just drew down this caricature. It was the first thing I knew to do. I'm like, I'm just gonna get this caricature made, see what happens, and then so that's what it was in the beginning. Just recipes turned into custom grocery lists. We didn't have the cycle syncing for women. We didn't have the healthy
AI.
We didn't have anything AI. No healthy recipe recommendations at restaurants. Now the AI can answer any health question, but in the beginning, that was not what it was.
Just kind of reiterating that sometimes you never know what it's going to turn out to be. You just kind of like have to start and go in a direction, and like it will lead you down the path that you like are meant to go on.
Yes.
And I love that so much because I've kind of had that whole lesson kind of evolving lately where you're like, something happens and you're like, oh no. But then you realize, oh, that was meant to happen because it directed me over here to this other avenue that I wasn't even looking down.
Yeah.
And so it's how everything really does happen for you instead of to you if you just open your eyes and you recognize when maybe one opportunity doesn't work out, it's because there was another better one coming along. And I know you, Caitlin, were casted in the America's next top model for like the final round. Like, tell us about that and how you were doing that, and then it was probably disappointing at first, but how you turned it into what you're doing now.
Yeah. At 18, I was scouted for the casting process for America's Next Top Model, the season of like whatever 2014 would have been. And I was so excited because I thought my entire life was about to change. I thought like all my dreams were going to come true. I was 18 years old. I grew up on a farm. I was like, I'm going to move to the city. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to be a big model, all this stuff. And after months and months of doing the whole casting process, they came back and let me know 1 week before filming started that they were going to actually cut me, and that the reason was I needed to work on my body and then I could try again next season.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
So
that's kind of an- debilitating all in one, right? How did
yeah,
you work on that?
Uh, years, years of work. It wasn't easy, but I think what got me through it was the fact that I was able to, when I did get through it, have a successful modeling career. And I actually ended up going on to meet some of the girls who had been involved with the TV show, and they told me how miserable they were and how much they hated it. And I think at that point, I was like, wow, like that was never meant for me. Like that opportunity could have ruined everything that was to come for me. Like that opportunity would have closed so many doors, and instead it opened brand new ones because I had to let that opportunity go in order to move forward.
Well, all that glitters isn't gold, and many times the dream that we have or the thing that we think once we achieve that
Yeah.
certain thing, that the manna is going to fall from heaven and all the birds are going to sing, it doesn't always show up that way. Sometimes you realize, oh, this is the other side of the coin,
Yeah.
behind the curtain, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. When you find out he's just this little bald man and he's not like all powerful. I
Yeah.
think I had a recent experience where I saw that everything isn't as it appears in actually your world with the modeling. And so I think it's good to just realize that failure really isn't failure if you've learned something and you grew through something. It's just always preparing you for something else. So how do you think uh going through this has brought you to where you are right now, Caitlin?
I mean, when I went through it, I ended up struggling with body dysmorphia and eating disorder for years. I was anxious all the time. I was depressed because I was trying to be a mold of what someone else thought I needed to be. And I wasn't living to like my truest self, my truest potential. And so going through all of that, everything I went through, dealing with it, coming out on the other side has put me in the perfect position to help women all over the world who might be going through similar things because I've been there. I have the roadmap. I got through it. I'm on the other side. And, sometimes I think we just need someone to hold our hand and tell us it's going to be okay and show us that there is another opportunity or another way to go through life. So I think it's just positioned me perfectly to be exactly where I'm at today, teaching people, helping people, giving back, sharing my knowledge.
And so let's talk about that mold for a second, because it's in so many arenas. I know back in the days when I was doing Miss Fitness USA, it was like I felt like they had a certain mold. They wanted it to be, and also I started at 40. Okay, most of these girls are like 18 on up. They don't have kids, responsibilities. So here I am, 40 years old. I'm not what they're looking for, right? I ended up writing a column for them for 15 years and so much else, but they're looking for that young commercial model. And it would be like this year, they're looking for skinny legs. This year, they're looking for whatever. It would be something different every year. So it was like trying to twist yourself into a pretzel or a mold to be able to unlock, be in the show or the mold or whatever they were putting out there. And one year I finally realized I want to be happy with me.
Yeah.
I want to like the package I'm in and what I'm bringing all year round, not just for some show or some gig.
Yeah.
And also, I think I had a whole growth experience around the fact that somebody doesn't make you worthy. You were already created and born worthy.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of like where that whole transition can take shape. So, do you guys deal a little bit on that line? Because I think it's a real struggle for women seeing all of these photoshopped images,
Yeah.
and they don't realize what somebody might have gone through to get looking like that, or they may have photoshopped them, or even an AI cover, right?
Yeah, honestly.
Everything's AI now. And I think that's why we're really trying to promote, confidence and love and health and taking care of your body at every stage and loving your body at every stage of life. Because like you said, like you get older, your skin changes, you have kids, you get stressed, like that's life. And so we're here to kind of like break down the barrier of like what is beautiful or what is, pretty, and more so think about like, how do you feel? Do you feel good every single day? Like, we want you to be strong, we want you to be healthy, we want you to be confident, and we have the tools to help you get there.
Yeah, and I think that my whole idea behind the app was to make eating healthy simple and fun for girls, because then you'll actually do it.
Yeah.
And it, like Caitlin said, it's all about how you feel. And so I didn't want to create some app that our recipes actually don't even have calories listed. Some girls have asked, and I did not add them in, just because it's more about the nutrients in them that's in the
Agreed.
I feel like you'll
Yeah.
agree.
Well, yeah, because you're giving them the nutrients, the protein, the
It's
carbs.
not really about the calories.
Yes, and I don't want to like aid into that. So I think it's cool that like it comes from a pharmacist, and my whole goal is to just make eating healthy simple and fun for women so that they can enjoy doing it and feel good about themselves along the way.
Yeah.
And I love that so much, because I have a client right now. I'm trying to get the point across that it should be easy, simple, and fun, but she's being very resistant. She doesn't want to prep or cook.
Yeah.
I thought it could be because somebody gave her some kind of complicated recipes where she couldn't find the ingredients. And I think that really your nutrition, like you said, could be simple, easy, and fun. And the problem for me is if you could bottle me up and put me in the app,
Yeah.
then people could have my knowledge and everything. But I don't have time to sit down with each person and go into their kitchen and whip up everything, right? Because when I have done that in the past, I've actually had cooking parties at people's homes. It opens a whole new horizon for them, because they're like, oh, that's really good. I didn't realize that would be so easy. And it's like they didn't know what they didn't know, because everyone's, in the generation of the working mom. And so many people might not even learn to cook, right?
Yeah.
And so when you have this app, you're actually in essence doing what I'm always thinking, oh, I wish I could just bottle all this knowledge up and put it in something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's like what we're trying to make the entire process of being healthier and living healthier easier, because there's so much information, there's so much confusion.
It's overwhelmed.
It's so overwhelmed. And so people give up. They give up before they even really give it like a real shot. And so we're really trying to like bridge that gap of overwhelm where people fall off.
Well, I think that there's been a whole generation where it was about shrinking, shrinking yourself. And really, the reality is you got to eat to train, and then you need to train, you need to train and eat. Like feeding your body when you're doing training, it goes together. And it boosts your metabolism, and it helps you build the muscle, and the muscle boosts the metabolism. So it's like this thing is learning that food is not your enemy.
Yeah.
It can be your best friend. It's getting over this body dysmorphia. It's treating food as fuel, like it was meant to be treated. And then just building a healthy body. So I like the whole concept of keeping it simple. How do you keep it simple? Name some ways that you guys or your app works to keep the nutrition simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So when somebody comes into the app, the AI basically does everything for them. We have like hundreds of healthy recipes. They all come from a certified nutrition coach. And all the person does is they could say, hey, I'm looking for a breakfast recipe. And it'll give them all the recipes. If they're gluten-free, they could say, hey, I'm gluten-free. I need a dinner recipe. It'll give them all the gluten-free dinners. and then they could say, hey, can you add that to my grocery list? It'll add it to the grocery list for them. It even connects to Instacart for like super convenient delivery.
It's basically it's very integrated. So when somebody comes in the app, it can do as little or as much as you want it to. So if you're like the kind of person who doesn't want to grocery shop, it will literally, you pick your recipes, it will automatically create a grocery shopping list, and it will automatically take that list and shop it on Instacart for you. You approve it, and then it automatically ships the groceries directly to your house. And all you have to do is follow the step-by-step guide to make the food.
Yes.
Like, we are doing literally everything except for coming to your house and making the food for you.
We even trained our AI you can tell it what restaurant you're going to, and it can tell you healthy meal recommendations from that menu. So it's not that everybody, has to eat healthy when they go out. I love going out, like out to eat at restaurants. But say you're going out and you just feel like having a healthy meal that night. You don't have to worry. You could tell it where you're going. And it's honestly kind of fun. Tells you healthy meals.
Yeah, so it'll make really healthy recommendations like for any restaurant in the world. You just like give it the menu if it doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. So which one of you went to and or both of you? I went there too. Yeah.
I love it.
That's super cool. Now, do you do workouts as well, or is it just right now the nutrition and the health coaching?
So it's all in one. So I also did my ACE training certification. So I actually host like fitness events here in person in Miami. And for the course that we're collaborating on, so it's basically my intellectual property, my 4-step method that I created this course with. And then it's her app, her IP, that we're putting those two together and creating this massive collaboration of mindset, of nutrition, of fitness. There's going to be workout videos available. There's recipes available. There's live coaching. I'm going to be there live launching it. So for 12 weeks, I'm going to be there answering anyone who's in the course's questions live. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm really excited.
Oh, that's super cool. And what are we calling this?
It's the Look Good, Feel Good Academy.
Oh, okay. We could all sign up for that. Who doesn't want to look good and feel good? I mean, goodness. So what type of workouts are you going to be doing?
Mostly at home. So I believe the same thing with kind of what we said about nutrition and the app is making workouts simple and fun. Because if they're not simple and they're not fun, you're most likely not going to do them. I'm also trying to introduce like different styles of workouts to people, because somebody might say, oh, I'd absolutely hate Pilates, but they've never tried Pilates. Or I absolutely would hate lifting weights, but they've never lifted weights. And so I try to make it super simple. You could do it completely body weight, or if you want to buy a yoga mat and have 5-10 pound weights at your house, all you need is less than 30 minutes. None of my workouts are more than 30 minutes. So again, it's just making it simple, easy, fun, and most importantly, most of us don't have a lot of time, so it's making it time friendly. I think all of us can find 10, 15, 20 minutes, but not everyone can find time to get ready, go to the gym, spend an hour at the gym, go back home, shower. So it's just making it quicker and more entertaining and fun.
I think it's good to have a little bit of both as a gym owner. Because nothing takes the place. I mean, I think the app is important. It's important to be able to work out at home because you can't always get to the gym. And if you're traveling with work, you need something that keeps you going and accountable. But I also think it's important to be in person with people that can make sure your form is correct and that you are doing the exercises correctly, so you don't hurt yourself, as well as I think the socialization.
Yeah,
it's important. We learned that during the pandemic, didn't you? I think I still Zoomed and I taught my classes on Zoom, but I think the connectiveness, people still really need that and they ache for it.
And it's not taking the place of you going to a class or you going to a group workout or you going to the gym. It's simply teaching people.
It's like an additive.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a bonus of like, hey, if you can't make it to the gym, or if you're living and if you're in a season of your life where you're extremely busy and you're traveling all the time, you can still make your health and fitness a priority. It's teaching people how to prioritize no matter where they're at in life, no matter what season they're in, no matter if they have a gym available or if they don't. Because I think that COVID taught us that is that all of a sudden we no longer could go and socialize. We couldn't go to gyms. We had to do everything at home. So it's just preparing people to not make excuses as well, I think. Because I
I
think that,
think, yeah, the non-excuse factor is key, but also the convenience of being able to do it at home, because let's face it, not everybody makes it to the gym when I have a class at 5:30 a.m.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I love the versatility, being versatile, the versatility of the whole thing. But I will again add in, thinking about this, I think it's a really good tool, but then again, people may not do like what they would do when they're in person with me. Like, I think accountability
Oh
is
yeah.
a big deal. That's why I liked doing the Zoom, because I let the class talk back and forth, and there was still the accountability factor. I think, how will you hold uh, your app people accountable? Are they filling out a journal, or are they checking in with you?
So for the app, so we are giving her clients to her course lifetime access to Actually Healthy, and that's the app. So then I'll let
It's
you.
just basically a tool. Her app is like a tool that my clients get lifetime access to. For the course, the accountability is for 3 months. I'm showing up once a week on Zoom with
Yeah,
the entire group and answering everybody's questions, because 90 days is going to give you that like rocket launch forward to like in the beginning it's tough, you need that accountability, you need that motivation, but also like you said, of course one-on-one is always going to be more beneficial because you're giving your undivided attention, you're showing up, but not everybody unfortunately can afford that. So at the
true.
end of the day, what we're trying to do here is bridge that gap between affordability and progress. It's like giving people as much as we can for a price point that most people can afford.
And truly, the accountability is a big deal, I think, because what I notice, and so with you having the 12 weeks, that's ideal, because what I notice with people is I can get them in the best shape and they're accountable to me.
Yeah.
But uh if they aren't personal training, or they aren't coming, pretty soon what you notice is where they were basically getting these great results, then it's like a slow decline. Them, so that accountability, I think, no matter if you're a fitness professional, a competitor, a regular average exerciser, it's something that you can't rule out as being crucial
Yeah.
to your results.
I've created for the course just another thing that I created because I do know how important accountability is. Like, it's extremely important, especially when something is foreign and brand new to you. What I'm doing inside of the group is I'm allowing everyone to create accountability pods where they can all meet once a week with their group and they can help hold each other accountable along the way as well. Because it's going to be people from all over the world that are going through similar things and that can connect on that level. And I'm giving them access to the private Facebook group so they can all connect in there. They can meet virtually on Zoom. And then they also get me for 12 weeks. So I'm doing everything in my power to show up for them so that they do get that accountability and motivation without having to pay the price tag of one-on-one coaching.
Which is great, because I think that most people do better with accountability. And
Yeah.
so having that, but also having the group, the connectivity, because it's the encouragement of the group, it's the
Mm-hmm.
accountability of the group, it's the
Mm-hmm.
accountability of having your help and your eyes on them. It's feeling like they've signed up for something, like they're doing something, like, oh, I'm doing The Biggest Loser, or I'm doing this. I think that those things are so key. in
Yeah.
somebody getting results versus, because everybody knows they should eat their, let's face it, everyone knows they should be eating their leafy greens.
Yeah.
And they know they should be drinking water and not eating crap. And they know these things. And so it isn't always about the knowledge. It's more about like the mindset than the heart set, and then having support. So
Yeah.
I think this sounds really good. Tell everybody what they're going to get again in the course for, so people understand.
So you're going to get lifetime access to my course, the Look Good, Feel Good Academy, plus lifetime access to Sam's app, the Actually Healthy app, which is going to include the AI health coach that you can ask 24/7 questions to about your health and nutrition. It includes cycle syncing. It includes the automated grocery shopping list and grocery shopping, as well as all the recipes. You're going to get access to new at-home workout videos added weekly. And then you're going to get lifetime access to the course. So it's going to be just like a course, any other course. There's going to be modules, and each module is going to have a certain amount of lessons inside of it. And basically, it's teaching you the Kate method. And it's my 4-step method that I teach all my one-on-one clients. And it's connect, approach, integrate, and transform. Basically, you connect with who you are, your mindset, what you believe, and then you approach your nutrition from a different lens, and then you integrate the systems of movement and routines and sleep into your life, and then you transform, because you have to go in that order in order to get the transformation, or so I've seen with my clients.
I love that. I love any kind of a system.
Yeah.
My business coach always said systems are sexy, babe. But it's true. You have to give people a system because it gives them something concrete to follow and to hang on to. And Samantha, so this genius idea of using the AI, what did you use? Chat GPT? How did you integrate your AI to be able to do all this? I'm just fascinated.
Thank you. That is a fantastic question. So there's 4 like different preset functions, and I'm going to be honest, I have a very talented developer who helps a lot. But yeah, so there's like ChatGPT does help. We trained a model to respond similar to like a nutrition coach would. So when you ask it a health question, it's trained to know, okay, I can respond, but also it knows when to cut off. For example, if somebody is asking like a question about their medications, it's going to refer them to a pharmacist. We don't want to like give away.
Right.
But it'll answer any health question like 24/7. And then there was a lot of training on the AI part. So my developer had to train the AI, for example, to be able to read like restaurant menus and give healthy meal recommendations. But we gave it specific parameters. So like what constitutes a healthy meal? We're looking for grilled chicken, broiled, as opposed to like breaded and deep fried. That took a lot of training.
Oh, I bet. Because I know that that's the thing with AI. Somebody has to feed it the information, and you want to make sure the information is lined up with being correct.
Yeah.
Yes. It was, I wouldn't consider myself like a tech savvy person. So it's kind of funny that now I'm in this field and I wouldn't trade it for the world, but it has been a learning curve for sure.
You said you would not consider yourself tech savvy?
I wouldn't, honestly, no.
Okay, so this is the lesson I've been learning lately. I remember being in the gym when these people came from Angie's List to put up one of my new pieces of equipment that does practically everything. And I said, I'm not mechanically inclined. But then I saw they were having trouble, so I went out and I actually helped them with the most difficult part of the machine, which was threading the cables, and then numerous other things. And then I realized these are the mechanics, and I'm trying to put this machine together. Maybe I shouldn't say I'm not anything. And then I started looking at the stock market and figuring that out. So I started asking my husband about the gains that we've made. And so like I realized, wait a minute, don't ever rule yourself out and say you're not anything, because we can do so much more than we think. And we're so much more capable than we realize.
Yeah. I think that goes back to what you said in the beginning too. It's like when the first step is just starting. That's all you have to do, and be willing to learn and adapt and improve. And
I think that's
get there.
true on your health journey. You
Yeah.
just have to start. Like, starting is the hardest part. Like, so many people tell me that fear holds them back, or, lack of accountability or motivation or discipline. But it's like, if you just start, it's so much easier than sometimes you even think, because you hold so much more power than I think any of us ever give ourselves credit for.
So much power. And then to recognize that it's more of a learning journey. So each piece that you can incorporate into your health journey is a piece.
Yeah.
And so instead of thinking, oh, I ate that chocolate, I failed, all is lost, it's more like, oh, why did I eat that chocolate? Oh, you know what? I didn't have my good fat. I didn't have my good carb. I didn't eat when I should have. My blood sugar was crashing. Or I really wanted that chocolate, so I had a piece, but that doesn't mean I'm going to eat the whole farm. I think it's just realizing that each piece that you learn is something you can build upon. So it's exponential. Once you learn the secret to eating clean and healthy the way you want to feel, you keep getting results, versus this yo-yo dieting, which is all extremes, all or nothing, and then you're all eating, and then you're all nothing. And I think it's learning to use the tools and things that you guys provided. Do you have any really great success stories? Have you had any guinea pigs for the meshed AI with Caitlin's
Not for
program?
the
I volunteer. I'm just saying, you need, put some people through, because it's so funny how that even adds more to things that you think about that you could tweak with what your product is.
Yeah, we plan to relaunch this over and over and over again, because it's like the first 20 people who show up and join the course are going to give us the most valuable feedback we can get. They're going to tell us what they loved, what they didn't love, what worked, what didn't work. And that is the only way to make the course better, is to get real feedback from real people.
Yeah, because that's what I did with my book, The Sweat Project, and my course. I literally had all of this nutrition from competing and from IIN and just doing this for ever since I was 21. And so I did beta challenges with people and kept tweaking and tweaking until I developed my 8-week course. And it really is, I really wasn't meaning to write a book. I just was putting that together to help them through the course, and then ended up being an award-winning book. So I was like, okay, see, it's when you're developing something that people need that you'll become really successful. So I wish you guys like all the greatest success with your course and your app. And I think you need to have a contest for people and say, I'm giving one course away to this person that does whatever, and get the hype going, get the people excited, so they can also watch that person's journey. I think this is going to be cool. What is the name of the course again for everyone?
The Look Good, Feel Good Academy.
And where can they find it? When will it be ready?
It's opening our cart on November 27th, and the cart will be open for 10 days. So I'm closing the cart on December 7th, and we do a welcome party on December 8th. So we're jumping right in.
Okay, so are they going through the holidays?
I'm going through the holidays. We're taking a pause from obviously like Christmas until New Year's. There's 1 week, but besides that, we're rolling through it.
All right, I think that's all. Actually, I have found the best time to change your eating.
Yeah.
Because if you can do it through the holidays, you can do it anytime.
Yeah. And I think sometimes people, like you said, they need that accountability, that motivation through the holidays. It's an amazing time, but I think for a lot of people, it can also be a really tough time, especially if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling unhealthy and you're making bad decisions. So having that group around you to support you and get you through to New Year's and already be ahead of the game when New Year's comes around. I want to get the head start for these people. I don't want them waiting until January 1st to get the results. I want them starting now.
And do you have any holiday tips for people since we are approaching Thanksgiving?
I think enjoy, like don't restrict yourself. Allow yourself to enjoy, because I think as a holistic health coach, like it's equally as important to enjoy the experiences and not stress about like, oh, I'm eating something that's bad for me. Like I'd rather you enjoy the experience and then spend the rest of your time, managing what you eat, making sure you're moving your body. Like if you're gonna go to Thanksgiving, maybe move your body for 30 minutes before you go eat that big Thanksgiving dinner. Your body will love you, your body will thank you, but give yourself grace. Enjoy time with friends, with family, with loved ones. Nurture that part of your primary foods and allow yourself a little bit of grace through the holidays.
I think that's great advice, but I also think a walk after you eat is really good.
Yeah.
Not to just sit around, but to get up and get moving. It really seems to make a difference. But yeah, one meal is not going to kill you.
No.
So I think realizing that it's okay to have some enjoyment too, as well as eating healthy, I think this is the best advice. Well,
I was
I've really, huh?
Sorry, I was just gonna say, I was actually talking to someone the other day and they were really nervous about the holidays. And I'm like, look, the 1 week at Christmas or the 1 week at Thanksgiving is not gonna make or break you. What's gonna make or break you are the decisions you're making from January 1st until Thanksgiving. So don't allow those 2 weeks of the year to define who you are and where you stand with your health. You need to show up for yourself every day, not just on the holidays.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now I'm from another school. I like to make healthy treats. So I generally make things that you would be like, is that really healthy?
Yeah.
Wow. So I like to do that. And then I may indulge in something, but I like to eat healthy. So to me, it's not a hardship. And so my wish for everybody out there is that they get to the point where they realize that they like eating, clean, natural, God-grown ingredients and not so much of the processed foods.
I think that you said it perfectly. When you act, it might be a change at first, but when you're actually eating healthy and eating foods that fuel your body, you not only look your best, because that's not as important, you feel your best, and you
Yeah.
actually feel like you're dieting. You just want to continue eating.
You want to feel good.
Yeah.
You want to look good. You want to feel good. And
Yeah.
that food makes you do
Yeah.
both.
And
so
from a pharmacist perspective, I'm like, I learned what internal, you guys did too. You learn what internally it does for you and how it helps you for the future and why it's making you feel better. So I just think it's so interesting. And I think we're going to help a lot of people.
yeah.
And since this is Thanksgiving, I just made some, just by accident, I had some pumpkin that I had put a little pumpkin spice in it. I put a little bit of stevia in it, and I had it in a container in the fridge, and I had oatmeal, and I mixed it together, and I was like, this is so good. It was like pumpkin pie pudding. And I was like, no hardship here. And it was completely clean.
Yeah.
Completely fueling my body so I can have some muscle, because I was having my carb. I had some eggs and things like that. And so I think it's just finding the things that you can play around with your nutrition. It doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to spend hours in the kitchen, and it can be enjoyable, where you might discover your pumpkin spice latte. I make my own at home. I don't go to get it at the coffee shop. So I think it's just realizing that you can still treat yourself. It's just you're actually treating yourself better.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, I have enjoyed this so much. And you guys, everybody make sure to check out the course. Is there a where can I find you on social media?
You can find me on all platforms at Caitlin Shea Spears, and you can find all the information about the course on my website, CaitlinSpears.com. And then
you can find us on Instagram or social media as well. It's actuallyhealthy.app.
I love it. So great. I wish you guys all the success. I really enjoyed having you on with your excitement about what you've created, and I hope you help a ton of people out there.
Thank you
so much. It was so nice meeting you.
Yes.
Thanks everyone for listening. And as always, keep on keeping on, everyone. Bye, everybody.